Okay. Hello, Cindy. So, and how do I pronounce your last name?
It's Rosico.
Rasicot. See, I would have said Rasicot.
No, that's all
Cindy,
right.
Cindy Rasicot. So, today's episode is the first ever episode on my podcast, Heart Snacks, Candy for the Soul. And I thought, how fitting would it be to have someone who is extremely heart centered and also extremely human? And I just already have the sense that you are authentic and amazing. Today, we are going to be going over the meaning of rebel monks, heart teachings, and the revival of the feminine. And just to introduce you, if I may, so today we are joined once again by Cindy. She is a retired psychotherapist and the author of the 2025 Nautilus Book Award Heroic Journeys Gold winner, This Fresh Existence, Heart Teachings from, I will let you pronounce,
Good. Excuse me, Bhikkhuni Dhammananda.
Bhikkhuni Dhammananda. Her
Oh,
story of Thailand's first fully ordained female monk is a sparkling example of the revival of feminine power, wisdom, and that change is possible in long-standing religious structures. Today, we are going to explore how these heart teachings connect to the divine feminine, maybe plasma, and the fresh existence available to all of us. Welcome. Yes. So, where do we start? I don't tell me anything.
the word that leads for me is heart.
Yeah.
Because once we asked Venerable Dhammananda to describe Buddhism in one word, and she said the heart.
Oh,
Because everything, and when I met her, maybe I'll go back a little bit for people. I moved
yeah.
to Thailand for 3 years from 2005 to 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I was married at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and my son was 13. He's now 33, so that gives you an
Oh,
idea. Some time has passed. But
yes.
early on, I met Venerable Dhammananda at a conference, and it was at the Shangri-La Hotel. And it was basically an afternoon session called Faith, Feminism, and the Power of Love. And I thought,
Wow.
okay, I don't often hear the word faith, feminism, and love in one sentence.
Yeah.
So that captured my attention. I did go, and
Mm-hmm.
there was 9 women from global locations all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, there was kind of I wouldn't say an altercation, but a heated discussion between two women who felt their religious tradition was suppressing women, and the other
Mm-hmm.
side felt no, it's a spiritual beacon for women. And they sort of deadlocked in the conversation. So there was a
Yeah.
quiet tension in the room, and Venerable Dhammananda stepped in a very
Mm-hmm.
quiet, powerful, calm voice and said, "We cannot solve anything with anger. Anger doesn't lead us anywhere. It is much harder to practice loving kindness and compassion. That is the goal of Buddhism." So,
Mm.
they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I guess
Yes.
that's what happened to me because I didn't go looking for a spiritual teacher, but it was like lights came on when she said that. I was immediately attracted to her, and essentially, I spent the next 3 years learning, interviewing her,
Wow.
going to different rituals at the temple, which are so beautiful in Thailand, and going on alms round.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled to Jakarta together. I mean, really,
Wow.
I accompanied her,
Yeah.
and that's where the story began.
Okay.
But
I have
go
so many
ahead.
questions. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So I just want to acquaint people who have never heard of these things before. So how do I pronounce the word bihik? How do you say it
In
again?
Thai, it's P, a B is a P, Piccini, but in English, we kind of say Bhikkhuni.
Okay, so can we explain to people what a bhikkhuni is and why in Buddhism, for the last cajillion years, female monks have not been allowed to practice in Thailand?
Yeah, well, initially, one thing I need to say about Venerable Dhammananda is she was
Mm-hmm.
a popular TV host of a Dharma show. She was a TV personality. She was
Yes.
married for 30 years, had 3 grown sons. Maybe, I think she was about 56 when she decided to become what I call a female monk. So Bhikkhuni
Mm-hmm.
for people. In the Buddhist tradition and in Thailand, 95% of the population, which I think is 70 million, are what's called Theravada Buddhists. So,
Mm-hmm.
like the Dalai Lama is Tibetan or Vajrayana, there are just different schools of Buddhism.
Yep.
And Theravada is the old school, like the root of the tree is the way Dhammananda
Mm.
describes it. Now, what she did as a scholar, she kind of went back in and researched the original texts to find that the Buddha ordained women in his own lifetime. His own
Yes.
stepmother and Mahapajapati Gotami was the very first, how can I say it? A bhikkhuni is like a female monk. It's the equivalent
Yes.
of a male monk is a female monk. That's the easiest way to say it in plain English.
Yes.
Um, Now there was a what we call a female lineage of the Theravada community of female monks
Mm-hmm.
in Sri Lanka from the third
Mm-hmm.
century to the 10th century, I believe, and then it died
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yeah.
And then it revived in Sri Lanka in 1998, and
Yes.
so that's actually a long time. The male monks lineage continued uninterrupted, but the female lineage unfortunately was disrupted.
Yep.
So, let me stay on track here. So, I had
Oh, yes.
bring me
I was,
back.
yes. So what you were saying, this kind of goes to my next question, actually. With just really quick, I read this in your article, the four legs of the chair and
Oh,
part
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Buddha.
Oh,
Tell
thank you.
me,
That's perfect.
yes,
So before the Buddha passed away,
yes,
Mara came to him, who's kind of like the, I don't know, maybe aspect of hell or
yeah,
seducer, and said, why don't you die now? Essentially, I'm really, I'm not probably telling this officially in the official version, and the
yeah,
Buddha said, no, before I pass away, I want to make sure that Buddhism is sustainable, the religion and my teachings, which are called the Dhamma, and the
yes,
Vinaya, which is the monastic code. He wants to
mm-hmm,
ensure that the Dhamma Vinaya is passed down and continues on generation to generation. So in
mm-hmm,
order to do that, he said we need the female monks, the male
yep,
monks. These are the four legs of the chair:
yep,
lay women and lay men. So what
yes,
Venerable Dhammananda said, in 700 years of Thai history plus as a nation,
yep,
there had never been a female lineage of female monks before Venerable Dhammananda.
yep.
Now that is because in 1929, well, it's kind of a number of things. It's a
They forbode
patriarchal
monks.
society,
Yeah,
and there is certainly, I don't want to go into it too much, but women
sure.
are not viewed necessarily. I mean, candidly, what's Dhammananda said, a common expression is women are seen as the hind legs of an elephant. I mean, that gives you an
Yeah,
idea. So she
it's the
studied all this.
suppression.
Yeah, not nice.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the when she has a complex history because her mother was also ordained. She grew up in a temple,
Yes,
an all female temple, which is just unheard of in Thailand.
yes,
Historically, the first wave of attempts to establish a female monastic uh, community or female monks was
mm-hmm.
in 1929
Mm.
when this radical man uh, tried to ordain his two daughters.
Yes, I read that
And
in your book.
yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
backlash was so strong. The the Buddhist community in Thailand is called the Sangha. At the head, there's a hierarchy called the Council of Elders, and at the
Mm-hmm.
head of the Council of Elders is the Sanghahara. And he
Mm.
uh, or issued an order stating that male monks are forbidden to ordain women. So that puts, and that book that's still on the books essentially. That
So
order
that's what
still.
I was so that's what I was going to say, and I read that in your book. I was stunned to find out that it is still, I guess, not, and correct me if I'm wrong, not legal in Thailand to be an ordained female monk. So that is why Venerable uh Dhammananda.
Yeah, it's Dhamma and Nanda, so Dhammananda.
Got it. That is why Venerable Dhammananda had to get ordained in Sri Lanka. And
Correct.
but she now is in Thailand even though she was ordained in Sri Lanka. And I'm going to lead to the most exciting thing, which is the if you want to tell me about the conference you just attended.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I came out here especially to attend a conference because, when she ordained and received ordination in Sri Lanka, there's two stages of ordination. You're called a novice and a fully ordained, and that's the Bhikkhuni is the second step. It takes 3 years. So when she came back as a novice or a seminary, she was ostracized in the press, attacked in the media, criticized by conservative Thai monks. There's a whole thing called Dhammananda controversy, and that leads back to your title of this talk, which is Rebel
Yeah.
Monk. So
Yes.
the media labeled her the Rebel Monk, and she says, the way she's protested is not through anger, not through violence, not through disruption. Her whole idea is being of service in the world and practicing compassionate action.
Mm.
So, the title rebel is a little bit ironic in her case, but that's
Yes.
what the media labeled her.
Mhm.
And she says, if rebel means going against the system, yeah, sure, I'm happy with that. That's fine. You can call me a rebel monk. She herself doesn't call herself that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
The
but it kind of
conference.
the conference. Thank you. Gosh,
Yes.
God bless for keeping me on track. So 21 years after she received full ordination,
Yes.
there are two. When she ordained, there were 300,000 male monks in 2001, and she was the lone Theravada nun.
Wow.
So apart from her mother, there was no other ordained women.
Oh my
And
God.
she says what sustained her. She took a lot of criticism. She says what her sustained her is the Dharma protects her, and that's how her faith in the Buddha is what kept her on going. So the conference is a celebration of 22 years later, and there are now 285 fully ordained female women monastics in Thailand. Thailand has 70 provinces, and the 285 monastic women are coming from 38 different provinces. So it was a collection of Bhikkhuni from all over Thailand, and they had never done this before.
Oh my God.
And what Venerable Dhammananda wanted, in English we'd probably say pass the baton. I'm not sure that's not quite maybe how she would say it, but she wants to transfer her leadership. She's 81. I guess I can say she did have a stroke last year. She's fine. She's a little weak physically, but mentally totally as strong as ever. And she's looking out after the next generation. And so that was the purpose of the conference. She held it in Chulalongkorn University, which is a beautiful campus. A friend of mine, Ross, that's not her Thai name, but anyway, she was master of ceremony because Venerable Dhammananda, she didn't want to. She's been the de facto leader. She's the senior female monastic in Thailand, and she said, "Now is my time to bow to you,
pass it over,
and pass it on."
Oh,
so
that's
this was
so
a major event.
Yes.
All the monastics were really happy. They did really felt strength in coming together with each other. And, we can't help it as humans. We're always a little, I don't know if suspicious is the right word, but we just, it's hard to accept differences. So in Thailand, the monasteries are called aramas. So there's, I can't remember how many aramas there are, but there are different.
You don't need to know. Yeah.
I just wrote the article. I can't remember.
That happens a lot with writing, and we're going to get into your story. We're going to get into your story very soon. But yes, continue. Sorry.
So anyway, it was a momentous occasion. Everybody was really joyous. It was heart opening for the Bhikkhunis who were there. And they did say the essential missing ingredient was they need more education and training in Dhamma Vinaya. And so already there's a committee formed to have an online curriculum of the now senior Bhikkhunis, younger than Dhammananda, who will lead some kind of training for them.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
they can carry on the traditions as the Buddha intended them.
Yeah. And I think what you're doing is so amazing because you are bringing her teachings to people like me and to America. So it's crazy. You don't realize like the impact you're going to have, or maybe you do, and that's why you're doing it when you do things like this. But we have an audience that watches this, I would say, who is between like 18 and 50. But I would love to kind of spread your knowledge that you have kind of gotten via transmission from this book, from writing it, from Venerable herself. And I would love to ask you a couple questions about yourself and your life and what you've learned. So before we get into your history, what do you feel is the number one lesson you have taken away from your journey so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be quite candid. The reason with her initial statement to me about dealing with anger struck me is because I had experienced sexual abuse as a very young child.
Same.
And the repository of rage and anger, one can't help but feel that in that helplessness, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of struggled with anger all my life. I mean, it'd be like, it doesn't happen anymore, but I'd be in a situation and I would bubble up and just,
Yeah.
spout. And so I didn't have really control, or I would just react without having any.
Same.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, some of us have experienced that. So the most important thing she's taught me is in the 20 years, I've been practicing with her for 20 years, is
Wow.
how to practice compassion, forgiveness, and loving kindness. And it's not like my anger disappeared. It's still there, but
Yeah.
primarily the work came in, and it's in my first book, which is Finding Venerable Mother.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Published by She Writes Press in 2020. It's my spiritual memoir, and it talks about healing the mother wound. So I kind of had to go through, as women, you know, you're talking about the feminine. As women, I don't know whether I like it or not, I drew a lot of my self-image from my mother.
Same.
My
Why?
Yeah, she was a lawyer. She went to school in 1934, way ahead of her time. Very strong, very determined. Not too versed in emotional warmth. So out I pop, you know, wanting kindness, compassion, love, and you know, she just didn't have it. That just wasn't her nature and her makeup, and probably she didn't get that from her parents either, as a first-generation immigrant to this country. So where does that leave us? So
you were saying that, yes, how the primary teaching kind of helped you with your anger and what set you off on this journey, really. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would say always, maybe you experience this too. I've always been on a spiritual, it seems like that's important to me, a spiritual journey.
Yes.
And Venerable Dhammananda practice. This is kind of fun, actually. I just got this. This is
Ooh.
It's bodhicitta mind, which unites the heart and the mind.
Oh, I love
we
that.
just went through a ceremony. It was really beautiful. So, not to confuse people, but Venerable Dhammananda, being an academic, she pulls from different religious traditions in Buddhism. So she pulled from the Chinese Mahayana tradition, the Bodhisattva tradition.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great about serving others. The Bodhisattva is the one who puts off their own enlightenment to help alleviate the suffering of others. So her whole, going back to her definition of Buddhism, the heart, she practices what I call spiritually engaged Buddhism. It comes from the heart. You've heard Thich Nhat Hanh's socially engaged Buddhism. I call her spiritually engaged Buddhism because it is based in compassionate action, service, helping others. Well, that was really helpful to me because I mean, in a nutshell, why she helped me heal. She sort of became like my mother. Uh,
Yeah.
her unconditional love, sitting in her presence.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a warmth, feeling of warmth and love.
Yeah.
It's not that she says it; you just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me to release a lot of the old hatred towards my
To
mother.
heal.
She essentially showed me how to
Mm-hmm.
be loving
Ah,
and
that's so
care for
beautiful.
myself and forgive my mother. I see my mother in perspective now, which I couldn't before. It was more like, Venerable Dhammananda's great learning is let go of I, me, my mind. That's the ego.
Oh gosh.
And uh, so I had to let go of my ego in terms of, well, frankly, my personal hurt and possibly, I want to be careful of the word, but
Mm-hmm.
victimization, feeling,
Yes.
holding on to myself. I don't like the word victim because there's a judgment in it, but that aside, I was
Mm-hmm.
suffering.
Yeah,
And love, when you love, it alleviates suffering. I don't know how else
it
to say it.
does.
It's a healing, it's a soothing, it's a relieving, a
Mm-hmm.
releasing. So anyway, just as a side story, she
Yeah.
gave 12 of us on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Sunday, sorry. Sunday, the lay bodhisattva precepts, which are like the monastic, not monastic, sorry, uh, the rules, like
Uh-huh.
I vow to do this. I mean, basically not to kill, not to steal, those, but there were 34 of them.
Oh,
But
whoa.
more than that, you could feel the vibrational energy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel the transfer of the lineage. I mean, I could. I
Mm.
don't know that other people could because I kind of, that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful
I
because to
want to
carry the,
ask.
yes, go ahead.
Oh no, finish your statement first.
No, I mean, just to carry that, I'm so happy to be wearing this.
Yeah, the
I mean,
necklace.
it's just a plastic with a thing in it, but it
Yes.
means a lot to me.
Yes. For everyone listening who's not watching, it is a clear necklace with a golden square with a bunch of things written on it that you can see if
The
you watch
Chinese
this on
letters.
YouTube. They're Chinese letters if you watch it on
Yeah.
YouTube. But yeah, it has a very beautiful golden energy. And it kind of leads me what you were just saying into your next question, which is you seem like a very intuitive person. I'm curious how you either cultivated your intuition or tell me just about your relationship with intuition throughout your life.
Oh, that's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. It's been
Mhm.
hard. It's been a struggle.
Mhm.
I am by training, I have an MA in clinical psych. I was terrible in the beginning at one-on-one counseling because I was so
Yeah.
empathic. I had no boundaries.
Yeah.
So I may as well admit that. So,
I think it's good to be honest because you know how I have a friend who's a therapist. You know how many therapists will agree with that and feel like they
yeah,
can't say it? Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, also that's how they get burned out.
Yeah.
So you come into that position because you do care and you want to help other people. And yet there's a place where, let me describe it through Buddhist terms.
Mhm.
In Buddhist terms, there's a word called pana, wisdom.
Mm.
And Venerable Dhammananda says you have to have two sides of the wing of the bird so the bird flies steadily.
Yes, compassion and wisdom. I read that,
Yes,
right?
compassion and wisdom. So what I was lacking in the early days was wisdom. It's like, you don't want to get swallowed up in their story because then you're no use to them. You've lost
Yes.
your grounding. So I'd probably be a pretty good therapist now. I don't do it anymore, but I'm much more grounded. But
Probably
but
because
in
you
the
don't
end,
do it.
to
Yeah.
answer the question, I think intuition is beautiful. I
Mhm.
think it's the hub of the creative child in me.
Yes.
I could say my nascent intuition probably comes from my 5-year-old, and she's
Yes.
beautiful. And she also needs help. I also need help knowing how deep to get involved, when to pull back. I get clear signals about people. Like
Me
immediately
too.
with you, I'm like, okay, we're on board.
Uh,
It's just an intuitive thing,
yeah.
and you can feel it. But um, but I think for anybody who's intuitive, you have to struggle to come to learn how to
I think
maybe
so too.
empty out some of the stuff that you've taken in from time to time or what have you.
Yes, I feel I'm very intuitive, but I feel like it is a great power and also a great struggle at times because you are a sponge and you have to learn not only discernment and protection, but almost how to like fill yourself up with so much love and light that you don't soak in anyone else's stuff. You just push out your light to others. And that
Right.
has been a big adjustment for me to learn like martyrdom versus, resonance with healing and intuition and like what you said, adding the wisdom into compassion. Um
Yes.
but I'm curious, what do you feel like you have struggled with the most and how do you reconcile that struggle because as humans we suffer, right? So what do you feel like has been a struggle and maybe you haven't gotten it totally away, but how do you live within that?
For me, that was to come to terms with the definition of the feminine in myself that felt right to me. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I was a women's studies major in early 1970s, and the
Mm-hmm.
feminist movement, the second wave, I think, was just getting off in this country. And there was a level of anger and politics, of course, in the movement that just kind of never sat right with me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met Venerable Dhammananda,
Yeah.
she has a fierce vulnerability. I met
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So we're back. Took a little break. So we were just talking off camera about, let's go first with how strong the child is within you. There
Okay.
is there is a beauty about the divine feminine for sure, but I feel like the resurgence of the divine feminine is actually paving the way for the divine child within
Oh.
all of us. I
Hmm.
feel like there's been this divine masculine for thousands of years, with male and patriarchy. Now the divine feminine is, kind of coming back around, but I really feel like it's rolling out the red carpet for the divine child. So I would love to hear just how you embrace play and your inner child, no matter what age you are, and what you feel about all of that.
Well, I love your idea. I think that my child, if you will, divine child, is the storehouse of my creativity, intuition, and I'm a writer, so I draw a lot from my divine. She's my divine inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's your next question?
Oh, how do you connect with your divine child?
Oh, I don't have trouble.
It's just
She's,
natural.
she seems to come into play quite a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I can
So,
be kind of serious, but I also can be really silly. And you know what? I think we just need to give ourselves, we live in such complicated times. We
mhm.
just need to give ourselves time and space to be silly, have fun, be playful.
Mhm.
We have that energy, and I think we had it as children. It's
Yeah.
just that it got curtailed by various shoulds, shoulda, coulda,
Mm.
wouldas, and
Mhm.
but that's there.
And have you always felt like you had it? Like, for instance, throughout my life, even though I had a lot of darkness and trauma, I feel like I've always held on to that child. Do you feel like there was ever a time where you lost it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I suffered,
Okay.
and that's how Dhammananda, Venerable Dhammananda, has helped me a lot. I suffered
Mhm.
from, I don't suffer from it anymore, but really chronic depression my whole life. And you
Mm.
mentioned loneliness. I've
Mhm.
also struggled with that.
Tell me
So, no,
more.
I lost my sense of play,
Yeah.
fun, ability to smile. I think everyone understands that. But those are, in a way, special circumstances because
Mhm.
at that point you're really suffering and a person really suffering and
Mhm.
a little bit shut down.
So what age? I know you were married for a while, and I don't know if this was before or after you met her, you decided to not be in that marriage anymore. Can you tell me a little bit about that and your choice to go out on your own and the bravery of that?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was married for 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 years 15 years out of the 20 years I've known her, I was married.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, knowing her, seeing her courage as a role model, I mean, stepping out against the wall of patriarchy, one woman,
Mm-hmm.
through determination and faith, is such a powerful combination. The
Yeah.
bravery was involved. I'll just tell you flat out, for 6 months, I was terrified. The thought
Of
of living on my
course.
own after maybe I was 31 years at that point,
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. I
Mm-hmm.
had I had a friend I called every morning because I was so rattled.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not eating, not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, is why are we so afraid of being on our own? I think
I
probably
know.
for me, it goes back to my childhood abandonment because in order
Yeah.
to be on one's own, I had to feel confident, secure, safe.
Safe. Safe.
I never felt safe.
Same.
So I didn't know, okay, now go out and be on your own. And all that came up was terror, you know,
Yes.
the terror of, oh, what must be out there? I don't know how to take care of myself.
Yeah, you
Can I
felt
do it on my
helpless.
own?
Yeah.
Very helpless. I probably did therapy, talk
Mm-hmm.
therapy 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I did what I needed to get through it. And, there was a passage that happened, and I can remember I kept telling my therapist, when is this going to end? This fear. When am I going to know if I'm going to? Because it was a 6 month period where I was deciding, do I want to stay in the marriage or go?
Mm-hmm.
And 6 months from June to November, in November, I decided I do want to leave the marriage. Because why? Because I wasn't able to blossom and grow as a
Mm-hmm.
person. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, we're still very close friends. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't I don't want to say anything negative about him because he's a very kind
Sure.
man. It's
Yeah.
just that in our interaction,
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who took care of, who sublimated my needs for others, who
Mm.
I just, we talk about letting the divine child out. I was just closed down. It
Yeah.
wasn't, I don't, again, no judgments. It's just, I wasn't able to grow in the relationship. So that's when I realized it was harder for me to stay in it than leave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That became easier for me to
So you
go.
say you say being safe was a key thing, and I agree because that is my biggest fear, being on my own and not feeling safe because of my childhood. And I
Hmm.
think I associate success and being on my own with like death and unsafety, which is very irrational, right? So I think it happens to more people than we think, especially women.
Well,
My question,
let me break that down for you. I
yeah,
think
tell
the
me.
reason you are feeling that is
Hmm.
because being on your own as a child, you didn't, if was true for you, or I'll talk
Hmm.
for myself. Being on my own, I didn't have the love and support I needed, but
Yes.
yet I needed to hang on to that. To not have that would be death
Mm.
because I couldn't make it on my own as a child. You
Mm.
know, I had to be dependent on them.
Yeah.
So the thought, if that's my only experience of what it means to be being on my own didn't mean powerful, supported, feeling good
No.
about myself. It meant, oh God,
Death.
now I really got nothing. I
Yes.
didn't have much and now I got nothing.
Yes.
Anyway, I just thought of that when you're
Yes.
talking.
No, that's good for me to hear. And I was gonna say it sounds like for our divine child to land back in us, it needs to feel safe, just like, like it never got to, right? So my question is, I'm asking this
Hmm,
for self-interest.
sure.
Yeah, how do you make yourself feel safe for that divine child to come out?
Very good question.
Hmm.
Years and years of therapy. I don't want to be
Yeah.
disparaging. I don't want to make you get
No,
desperate here.
same. I have
But
therapy. Yeah.
because probably because of being violated sexually,
Hmm.
I carried shame, uh, feeling of not being worthy
Hmm.
for a long, long time. My core identity was kind of damaged, if you will, to use it
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Hmm.
So, and who that happened to was my child.
Mm.
So I had to go back through years to reconstruct. the
Your child.
healing, the
Yeah.
child, the healing. And
Yeah.
only just recently, I had a psychic reading 3 months ago. I'm
Mhm.
still learning how to be the
Mhm.
parent to that child.
Yeah.
Not because she's unruly or dramatic or anything, but there was so much shame I carried that even in my
Mm.
own mind, I had to overcome my own barriers to self
Mhm.
acceptance,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
It makes so much sense. I completely relate.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's quite a process, and it's happening. And I don't want to say that some people just they're really empowered and I don't want to say self-important.
Yeah.
Feeling good about themselves comes naturally. I don't mean it
Yeah.
in any negative way. For me, it has not come easy.
Yeah, same.
I appreciate myself,
Mhm.
but maybe like most women, the first thing I'll go to is, oh, I wasn't good enough, or I don't know. I'll just come in with the
It
critical
was
vote.
you. Yes. I find that in most women, and men don't have it as much. It's like we're always the first to blame ourselves. And
Right, right, right.
it and it's so funny because I would like to even give you the credit I don't think you're even giving yourself. It's like even though you were scared and terrified, you did leave the marriage and you do travel across the country all the time to Thailand, and you are doing it on your own, I'm assuming a lot of the time. So it's like
Yes,
it's funny, even though you weren't safe yet, your child was so brave. You know what I mean? Not everyone does that. Most people stay in the marriage. They stay home. They don't seek out feeling better. They usually do it through drugs and alcohol, which I did as a teenager. But
sure.
why do you think that was it pure will or was it like a higher power? Like what do you think pushed you into all this?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. That's a very
Mhm.
clear acknowledgement. I really appreciate that. And I
Mhm.
agree with you. I
Mhm.
don't feel scared now. I mean, certainly I get scared from
Yeah.
time to time, but not like that panic that I had. I sort of went through that.
Mhm.
Now, ask your question again. What?
Oh, how do you feel like what do you think was guiding you or pushing you, whether it was your will or a higher power, towards leaving the marriage, towards going to Thailand? Like, even if you were terrified, you did these things anyway.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. As I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
with it, what I get is what was very helpful to me was my faith in the absolute love of my teacher.
Mm.
That gave me the confidence, the safety, and by her example too. I mean, this was kind of subconscious because I've never explicitly said this, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the part of me that identified with her was the
Mm-hmm.
part of me that is like her,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that aspired to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
But the foundational love that she gives me
Yeah.
is so beautiful and so empowering
Yeah.
that I'm getting chills as I'm talking that frankly I don't think I took a risk out of bravery, if that makes any sense. It was
It
more like
does.
this my situation wasn't working. It was hurting. I was getting hurt or suffering. It's a better way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably because of my faith in her and what she
Wow.
instilled in me, I was able to take that risk.
It's like she reflected your own power a-
Yes.
and you remembered it.
Well, she gave
Yeah.
me the gift, and there's a very clear chapter in the book
Mm-hmm.
on grasping,
Oh,
which I
I'm
don't.
almost there.
That,
So
that,
right
that
now
to me is the key
I'm
chapter
on
of the book.
forgiveness. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm
oh, forgiveness. That's a good one.
talk
Um,
about grasping because I used to be a very good grasper. So help me.
it's a very good grasper. I love that.
Yeah.
We're all so talented in that area.
Yes.
So so basically, when I wrote this book, the first
Hmm.
book, the memoir,
Yes, finding
I
venerable
was so
mother.
proud of it, and I wanted to share it with her. And I came to Thailand to I wanted her to read through it too to approve it. And
Hmm.
She was kind of deadpan when I asked her what she thought of it. It was sort of like, well, we don't call it praying, we call it chanting, little, but
Sure.
basically, too much I, me, my, mine. And I was kind of shocked. She said, "You are grasping onto me, kind of as her
Mhm.
teacher, as a higher,
Yes, on a
given too much
pedestal.
power, given too much
Yeah.
power. And your clinging is getting to me because people can feel it when you're
Yeah.
grasping it for attention. Whose attention was it for? For me. So I could
Hmm.
feel important. She loves
Yeah.
me this much, so therefore I'm important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what a beautiful gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because by doing that, she helped me release some of my attachment to
Mm-hmm.
clinging to her
Mm-hmm.
so that I could be free to follow my own path towards liberation,
Mm-hmm.
empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
enlightenment, if you will. I doubt I'll ever get there, but um,
Who
what
does
a
all
gift!
together?
What a
Yeah.
gift! And then
Yeah.
years later, she said, I was kind of afraid to say that to you because I thought you might leave. And I said, no, I've gotten much worse from some of my therapists.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an amazing teacher because the best teachers empower you. The
Mm-hmm.
teachers that say follow me, I think we should always watch out for. But it's almost like the ones that sounds like her that say, you know, follow me and don't get too attached. I love that about her. That's beautiful that she did that
Well, that
and
that's
said
the
that.
that's the beauty of a mature teacher. They don't need you or me to boost their own ego. And in fact, it's not
Yes.
about ego with her. In the moments where we've really connected, I would say, and I think she would say this too, I get a sense of disappearing. No, I don't
Mm,
disappear per se. It's just
mm-hmm,
there's such a rich connection, and
mm-hmm.
it's about being with her in connection, which is a wholeness and
Yes.
an experience that is very different from the ego grasping experience.
To Yeah, it feels like more of a energy experience or like a pure feeling, not really
Hmm.
logic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in your
Yeah.
heart. You're in your heart.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. Okay, do we want to go over anything else before we get into a little plasma talk?
Please proceed with plasma.
Okay, so I'm probably going to do this to everyone that comes on the podcast.
Great.
So I discovered plasma a few years ago. Obviously, in science, it is an ionized gas. It is the fourth state of matter. And when I started meditating, I got a little channeling that plasma is the divine feminine. It is just another word for this energy. Um, it is like the energy between us and source. That is like the best way I can explain
Oh,
it.
it's
It
a
is almost,
connector? It's a
yeah,
connector?
like a binder. And
Okay.
when we have trauma or limiting beliefs, it almost like imprints onto that plasma. So source always wants to give us everything, right? Unconditional
Mm-hmm.
love, whatever we're always deserving, but it is our subconscious and our traumas that constrict that airway. And
Mm-hmm.
so plasma is almost like constricted for most people. And yeah, you can also literally call it, yeah, the subconscious. It also makes up the fabric of reality. It is like the womb of creation, and consciousness uses it as clay to create.
Mm.
And yeah, so it is like the way I describe it is a living, sentient, reflective, receptive, multidimensional field. It is the fabric of our reality. And I'm curious if there is a word in Buddhism that comes to mind when I talk about this energy. Like it's the same kind of as like ki or chi, um, animal magnetism, it was called in the 1800s, animists that say everything is alive. I think that's what plasma made up. But I'm curious if anything kind of comes to your mind or any intuitional hits you get.
I want to make sure I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I was raised Jewish, so I'm not very good. But the
Oh, same.
intuitively the word that comes to my mind is it kind of like the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it sounds most like. Even though as I'm talking, I don't even know what that is. But
I don't either, but that's what it is.
it's a is it a realm between that connects the source, the
Mm-hmm.
oneness, the wholeness of the universe
Mm-hmm.
to our consciousness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's your question?
Oh, I was just curious if there's like anything you get that ties to Buddhism with that. Like, do they have a word for that substance in Buddhism or that
Yeah,
energy?
emptiness, probably.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know. We would have to chat
what I would
GPT it.
mean by that is that the Buddha said that anatta, which is non-self, which is letting go of ego, the clinging we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting go of that, not to go into nothingness, but to go
Mm.
into somethingness, that
Mm.
holy, sacred, connected place that I was talking about, like
Oh.
when I connect with Dhammananda,
Yes, the heart energy.
the heart energy. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to put into words, but I sense that that is where. I mean, I have no idea what Nibbana is, enlightenment
Yeah.
or Nirvana. I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea what that is, but
Yeah.
um, what I hear from plasma is it's holding space for human potential. Um,
Yes.
that's what I get, and boy, that's such a beautiful concept. I love the concept. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I can relate it to the experience I have when
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in the presence of Venerable Dhammananda. I have felt it. I
Yes.
don't know how it equates in Buddhist terms.
No, I know. And it's so hard even to talk about it in like human words is so hard
Right.
because it really is just a feeling and it's almost like something you just know. Um,
It's sacred ground. That's what I
yes.
get from it. Very sacred.
It is. It's exactly what you said. It's kind of like I even call it in my book, it's called Plasma Consciousness and the New Human Potential
Oh,
because
interesting.
it
Yeah.
is kind of a breeding ground for consciousness and the potential. And when you learn to fully let go and be in that heart energy is when you can be in that space all the time. So it is kind of like enlightenment or bliss or where we go sometimes when we're in that deep meditation.
Right. I caution myself to use emptiness, but emptiness isn't necessarily a bad word in this sense. It means you've clear of yourself so that you can
Yes.
feel this holistic energy.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
That is it. No, that's beautiful. Everything you just said was enough. I could leave happy. But I think I have a few more questions on just the
Sure, go ahead.
heart. Okay, great. Okay, I asked you about loneliness. I asked you about grasping. Okay. What do you think? I know I asked you about teachings already, but if you were to say one thing to anyone listening right now who is interested in the heart and compassion, what words do you have about how someone can embrace compassion and their heart energy now?
Well, the word that comes up into my mind is patience.
Mm,
We are so very complex and we live in such stressful times. We all need to practice kindness towards ourselves and others. That's what I really see. And, I'm in Thailand now for 7 weeks.
mm-hmm.
It may be surface, but I don't know. It feels pretty genuine to me. Everyone is so much kinder here.
Yeah.
And they call it the land of smiles. And I don't think that's an oversimplification.
Mm-hmm.
The message I want to carry to other people is it's so hard right now in the United States with all that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to listen to ourselves, maybe first of all, with kindness, without judgment and criticism, as we spoke of before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think once we accept who we are fully and open our hearts to
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, within
Yeah.
ourselves, we can be more open to others.
I love
Now,
that.
the question of safety comes up because it's a little hairy out there.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I go back to the truth of what Venerable Dhammananda has taught me. There is strength in vulnerability.
Mm.
there is strength in being open-hearted.
I
I guess I
agree.
can't say too much more about it than that.
Yeah, fierce vulnerability.
Yeah,
And the second to last question I will ask is because you've had a lot of trauma like myself, I sometimes thank God I don't have health issues, but I sometimes deal with a lot of tension in my body.
sure.
How did you release the tension, the trauma, the energy from your body?
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, because our body stores memories
Yeah.
in different places.
I'm
Well, I
always
mean,
so tense.
yeah, oh gosh. Well, breathing helps. Yeah, go back to what Venerable says, and being kind to ourselves. How the first step in being kind to ourselves is just sitting, taking in a deep breath, and exhale. And sometimes it's just as simple as using our own breath to soften the tensions within ourselves. Now you do a quick body scan and send a little extra energy to any place that has extra tension.
Mm, that
It's
worked.
it's just, it's just one little thing we can do. And
Yeah.
I would say long-term therapy helps because the more we
Yes.
disclose our secrets and the energy stored in those secrets, the more our
Mm-hmm.
body can relax and
Mm-hmm.
let go of tension
I
that
agree.
we've been holding within the trauma.
I 100% agree with that. My therapist told me something. I've been working with her like 3 to 4 years, and she told me how much tension has been released from my face. Like my face structure has changed.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
Yeah. And I also
Yeah.
noticed that my stomach got like, for a little bit, it got slightly more flabby because I stopped bracing my stomach. Like I had such great abs,
Yeah.
but they were actually because I was bracing.
You were like, right,
Yeah.
right, right, right.
All the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Okay. I will ask you one more question. So, this podcast is obviously called Heart Snacks Candy for Your Soul. If you were to give any transmission that's coming through to you, whether it is from um, your teacher or yourself or just wherever it comes from, doesn't matter, what would you tell someone today that you feel like is candy for their soul to hear?
We all need to learn to love and accept ourselves. And honestly, it's not always as easy as it may seem.
Mm,
But with love, acceptance, and kindness, we
mhm.
really can free ourselves up to be our best self, our most
Yeah.
creative self, our empowered self, our child self, however we want to manifest in the moment.
Mm.
But I think, they have those funny little cards that say cup of kindness.
Hmm.
Boy, howdy, we could all use a healthy serving of loving kindness right now.
Yeah. I agree. Thank you. That was
Maybe a
beautiful.
little dollop of honey.
Yes, yes, please. A lot of honey. Help. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And stick around when we stop recording. We'll
Sure,
chat for a little.
sure.
But
I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
yeah, Cindy, thanks for being on. I'm sure we'll have you back. And just remind everyone, where can they get your book, The Fresh Existence?
Any independent bookstore, you can order it Amazon, and you can
Your
also, I think it's on my website.
your website?
Links, which Dan
Yes.
you will provide.
Yes, everyone, I will post all of Cindy's links if you're watching on YouTube in the link below, link in bio, or link in the description, actually, not link in bio. And if you're watching this on podcast, there will be links below as well.